But my beats, they are hard.
All right. Hello, friends and family. Welcome to another episode of the BCSN SportsWrap. 10 years running strong, the longest running HBCU sports talk show on the interwebs, alongside A.D. Drew, who's sporting a nice little BCFP polo. Who do you have to know to get one of those, Drew?
That would be the guy who curates the show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and soon to be Sunday morning, right here on the Black College Sports Network. One Dr. Kenyatta Cavill.
Okay, I thought it was going to be. I thought it was something that went out to voters, because if so, I was going to be in my feelings. If it was something that went out to voters, I was going to be all up in my feelings. But you must have.
You are a voter. You're a voter, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got something stuck here. Yes, I am a voter in the BCFP.
Yeah, but Dr. Cavill believes in personally hand delivering these type of items to you. So, obviously, I think he and I have crossed paths more recently than you and he have. So that's how I was able to get mine.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say it's because you're on his show now, right? You're on the show more than Mike Washington and shit.
More than the man in the title and the jingle.
Yes, exactly. You might be, at least over the last year, 2 years maybe.
Yeah, I told Dr. Cavill when this contract comes up for renegotiation, we're gonna have to sit down and yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this contract renegotiation.
You're gonna no comment. All right. But anyway, hello and welcome everybody. A.D. Drew, Brian Fulford. Yeah, Sly, I said the same thing. Just trying to. We just gotta work. We gotta work with what we got right now, Sly. Sly, you guys should be rocking those SIAC sit down shirts and all that other good HBCU game day gear you guys got over there. So anyway, but we got a loaded show. We are about 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away from the start of the college football season, the HBCU football season, less than 2 weeks away from the start of the volleyball season as well, Drew, just in case we got some volleyball hardos out there, people who like the sport. I am a fan. So, all that's right around the corner, Drew. Are you excited? You getting your stuff together? Because I know it's going to be a busy weekend next weekend for you.
Busy weekend, man, bro. Been out in the sun for the last 2 days at Morehouse. Yesterday, we had a couple of members of the media who stopped by yesterday to check out practice and everything. So obviously, if they're members of the media are going to be there, I'm going to be there with them just to, to do what I do and make sure.
Was media allowed to watch more than 30 minutes?
That was the original plan, but they wound up staying the majority of the practice and everything. Oh, wow. And it just kind of, we were just sitting there and we just got to conversating. The next thing you know, practice was over with. So we are talking about all different kinds of stuff going on in the HBCU space there. And then today we actually had a scrimmage with officials. So two consecutive days in the sun in Atlanta when the air temperatures approached 100 degrees will wear a brother out. Yeah, even though I had the option to be in the air conditioned press box, but anybody who's ever been to BT Harvey Stadium in Atlanta, Bryan has been there. And I'm gonna say this as nice as I can. We don't have an elevator. We don't have an elevator to the press box.
Right. Yes.
So you have to walk up the bleachers. And
not as bad as some stadiums that I have walked to the press box to.
Right.
So.
But that's an asthma attack waiting to happen on somebody. Walking up to us in 100-degree heat, man. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah. But so just, you know, even though I was in the press box, just walking up and down, doing what I had to do in and out the press box and everything, because obviously with officials there and everything else, this was an opportunity to make sure certain systems were running at the level that they need to run for a game. You know, if they fail today, who cares? You know, we've got 2 weeks. Actually, we've got 3 weeks before we open up at home to get those things correcting. And some things worked, some things didn't work. But just like I say, walking up and down, trying to, okay, this thing is not on, and why is this not connected to this, and just all that, it wore brother out. So I took me an afternoon siesta. But here's the most important question, Bryan. How you doing? Yeah. How you doing?
I'm good, Drew. I'm good.
Leave it to our alma mater when the fire has almost subsided, for them to put some leaves back on the fire and drum up another story. And unfortunately for you, Bryan, you were part of the subject of this story. So, and I know you
hold on.
On the ONG strike zone, but I really want to know how you are doing, and so do our listeners, Bryan.
Well, thank you, Drew, for asking. Thank you, Blue Jacket, for asking. I will get it. Look, I've expressed some of my thoughts, which you guys, if you followed the ONG on Wednesday, or if you maybe caught the out of left field, I was not expecting a profile picture on HBCU sports, which I had to tell Mr. Rashad. I said I had to go ahead and send them an actual good profile picture, not something that I took off of a selfie prior to the Florida Classic in my swag polo. But at least, you know, I was like, damn, could y'all at least? I did, but anyway, I wasn't expecting.
They could have called you.
Look, I wasn't expecting that kind of attention, but it's good.
And they did a video too, a short video about you guys' situation. It's on their YouTube page. Yes, I think it was Friday when I saw that. I don't know if it came out Friday, but it was Friday when I saw it.
All right. Well, you know, at least I don't know what it said, but I missed that. That's good. You know, I heard there were people on other shows taking shots. I don't know for what. I like, you know, our good friends, you know, on another show and that covers another program. They had things to say. I totally missed all of that, but okay, so fine. Anyway, look, we got a lot to get into today. I don't want to talk about that. I know you want to talk about that.
Oh, because I'm 38 hot about that.
Before we get into an opening segment, which we're going to call the warm up, I want to at least let me get the plugs out of the way and thank everybody for coming on, joining the show. Exactly, Zach. Thank everybody for coming on, joining the show. Hello to everybody watching us on the YouTube, MyJBN Online, or you might be watching us on the Black College or the BCSN SportsWrap YouTube page. I might have to stop posting there. I don't know if that's drawing numbers away. We want people to be filtered into one YouTube, so I don't know. We may have to reorganize how we do that. Just a suggestion and a thought, Drew. Same thing with the Facebook page. Hello to everybody watching on Facebook. Hello to everybody on Twitter. Hello to everybody on Instagram Live watching. You know, that is the most asinine quote. Put that crap back up there. I'm gonna go off. Chris Dukes, that is dumb as hell. Being petty has nothing to do with this situation. I'm petty for a reason. All right. No, don't put me on full screen, Drew. Don't do that. See, don't do that. Don't see.
I thought you were ready to go.
I did not want to talk about this, but see, our forum is open, so that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna be. That's fine, Chris. It's all love, man. You know, but damn, man, come on. This karma. See, this is the talking noise to Alabama A&M. This is for all the years that you were messy with Jackson State. This is all the pettiness. God bless it, man. Y'all have no. Go ahead. No awareness. No. Anyway. Now I'm agitated, Drew. So you want to know how I am? I'm agitated. I'm agitated now. But okay.
This is a safe space, Brian. This is a safe space.
I love that. That's a new shirt. That's a shirt right there, Karen. Petty with a purpose. I love it. Okay. We got a lot to get into. Let me set the lineup, and then Drew, we're gonna go through the warm-up because coming up at the bottom of the hour, Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends on SI is joining. If you have been paying attention to what's probably outside of my little situation on the highest of Seven Hills, probably the big story happening right now in HBCU sports is been covered heavily by Kyle Mosley. I mean, if anybody else has been dropping stories and information and background and has had the breaking scoops, I don't think anybody else has been covering it at the scale that Kyle has. So Kyle's coming up here at the bottom of the hour. He's going to give us the background, you know, a little more info. Obviously, if you've been reading the stories regarding the Texas Southern hiring process that's going on for their new athletic director, as well as the men's basketball coach, you know, that's an interesting twist that has sort of occurred. And we are aware of the past hiring issues that Texas Southern has gone through. So we'll talk to him. Then also coming up in top of hour 2, we're going to talk to the athletic director of Stillman College, who made a big announcement just the other day. So they've got some news that I think you guys are well aware of. That's we'll see how that whole process of football coming back to Stillman College, how that all came about. It's been we've been hearing rumors about it, Drew, from really about the last 5 years, I think. People have been talking about it. So we'll find out how much of that talk was really legit talk. Yes, A&T has a new athletic director. So we'll get into talking about that as well. And season win totals for FCS football is here. Season win totals. So I've got the graphics all set up. We're going to be able to kind of look back and see how teams have performed over the last 3 years that we've been doing this. This is year number 4. And we'll see if there's some interesting trends. Unfortunately, when we do this, Drew, we actually don't have any we don't have any places that we can actually really bet on these things. You know, if you're somebody who likes to partake in that kind of thing. But maybe one day it'll come around. But I think it'll be a good talking point to kind of talk about expectations and teams that perform above and below expectation. All right, Drew. So let's get into the warm-up before we go to the first break. What's on your mind? Just to warm us up and get us going here.
Besides FAMU?
I thought that's what you wanted to talk about. I thought that's the warm-up. That's what you wanted
that's my warm-up.
To get into. Yeah, I mean, you know.
Okay.
I said what I had to say.
Now it's time for me to express my feelings on this. First of all, unfortunate situation anytime, be it your primary job, be it your secondary job, be it your side hustle, when they tell you it's over. But yes, this is personal because it involves my co-host here, Bryan Fulford. But in regard and Al Chester, Hall of Famer, Al Chester. But outside of the two people involved with this, remove the names. Let's talk about this thing in its entirety, this process. Number one, the timing of this sucks. It's 3 weeks. This comes out 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks before the season. I don't know. A lot of you may not know. There are many different things. People like Bryan, people like myself. When I was freelancing, those opportunities, those assignments usually occur in June and July. Al Chester, Bryan Fulford, basically had made plans that their Saturdays for those 3 months were going to be occupied by Florida A&M football, and a lot of their Fridays and Sundays due to travel. So I know this man right here has turned down. I got to get my point right. Anyway, this man right here has turned down or did not even seek other opportunities that he could have been gainfully employed on Saturday. And a lot of people, because y'all can talk about Petty B and everything else, but this guy right here, Bryan, is a damn good play-by-play person. He is one of the few people that when it was together, I automatically yield to him. You play-by-play because he does it well. I have the ability to do both. I'm one of those rare people who have the ability to do both. But I don't even want to touch play-by-play when I'm with him because he sets me up so beautiful for the commentary. So he's a consummate professional. He prepares well, and he's engaging and keeps the storyline. And I don't think any of the Rattler listeners ever have a problem with his calling. Matter of fact, he was the recommendation from a lot of Rattler listeners to take over when the position opened up. A lot of people wanted Bryan to come in. So that's number one. The timing just freaking sucked because you have taken money and opportunity out of the pocket of not only these two individuals who voice you hear, but other people behind the scenes who are involved with the production of their radio broadcast. Number two, in a time and effort when we're looking to expand our reach in media, yeah, we know we live a lot on social media now. People go to their graphic, but don't be suckered into SWAC TV, as great as SWAC TV has the potential to be, and it will be, to think that captures every single person. There are some of us who can't watch a game on Saturday. We gotta work. We gotta do whatever. And yeah, you can put it on your phone and listen to it without watching it. But the descriptive value that you need from a radio call versus a video call, it's totally two different broadcasts. When you radio and the person who's on the other end has no visual, you are an artist. You have to paint a mental picture for your listening audience. When I got video behind me, for not saying that you get lazy, but it's just you don't have to get as depth to it because people can see you're just enhancing what their eyes see by your words. When you're on radio or audio only, you have to create that image in their head so that they can do it. You know, you don't have to tell me when we're on video, single back to the left of the quarterback, trips right, single receiver to the left. You don't have to tell me that. I can look at the screen to see that. But when you're on radio, I need to know that. Balls on the right hash mark. Going from my left to my right. Things like that. You have to use those type of terms. And so it's just disheartening with this. Now, number 3, and then I'll let you chime in. When did the ball get dropped on this? Don't know. Not going to speculate on who did what to drop this ball. But this once again shows the instability of the athletic department at my alma mater. We have had, how many athletic directors have we had, Bryan, over the last 2 decades?
Oh, 2 decades.
Okay. Let's do this. How many athletic directors have we had since COVID? 5?
Oh.
Counting the interims?
Well, since COVID, yeah, we're probably.
Gaucher took us into COVID. Then coming out, then after Gaucher, it was Smith.
Full time, or are we talking full time, including
No, you have to include the interims. So you went from Gaucher to Smith to Tiffany Dawn, back to Smith, 6, Bryan, to Suggs, back to Smith. That would be 7 to this current guy. I don't even know his name. 7 since COVID. 7 athletic directors in less than 6 years. Not to mention.
Okay, I got what you're saying. You're counting.
You're not counting all 3 people. All 3 times Smith took over.
Yeah, but in terms of people, 5 people.
5 people, 7 tenures.
Okay, yeah.
Not to mention the turnover of people in the athletic department. Shout out to Josh Padilla up at Kent State doing great things up at Kent State. Counselor, shout out to Dennis Driscoll who's working hard to get things right. But the turnover in the athletic department, hell, half of FAMU's athletic department is in Huntsville, Alabama now. I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah, Dr. Bryant, boy, he been snatching up rattlers left and right.
Paul Bryant is taking it from the highest of 7 hills to just that single hill up there in Huntsville.
Yeah.
So, but that leadership, that vision. So things that would have had to be done as far as renewal with the media partners, the radio stations, the selling of advertisements, et cetera, the things that go along with a radio broadcast probably got dropped. The ball got dropped on those things. So that overall amalgamation of different things that has happened has led to this, and just further exacerbates my disappointment in the institution that helped rear me and that I still love. But and yes, I'm probably more critical on FAMU than I am on other institutions. But so are you with your institution, because you expect more from your institution, whichever would. A&T Roy, you expect more from A&T. By Jackson State people, I know what y'all standards are at Jackson State, because everybody know what y'all standards are at Jackson State. Same thing with Southern. Same thing with Bethune, whatever school it is. You expect more from your institution, expect your institution to be great. Right now, I can't say that about the orange and green. And this little small thing, while it may seem minor to everybody else, is just once again an example of how we fumble the ball. And when the fire is almost out on the campfire, we decide to throw some leaves on it to keep it going. I'm off.
Well, you said a lot there, Drew. So I will say this. The one positive is that when the announcement came out, Rattler Nation has rallied to express not only their disappointment, but also in trying to find ways to make sure that it doesn't happen. I think one of the things I saw, one of the articles that Gerald Thomas of the Tallahassee Democrat pointed out is that Rattler football had been on the air for some 40 to 50 years. And that's saying a lot. And so, as one of the things I said is I don't want 40 to 50 years of tradition and 40 to 50 years of Rattlers being able to listen. Again, I've said this before. The reason that I'm so honored and humbled is because I remember being a student and listening to Rattler football with Keith Miles calling the games. And when we would take road trips, that was the only way you could listen to a Rattler football game in the 90s because we weren't on TV. We weren't streaming. So the only way you could listen to the game is on the radio. So I remember listening in the dorm or listening in the car, while we were watching. Maybe you were watching another game on TV, but guess what? You were listening to the radio of Rattler football. So I will say that all hope is not lost. There's still a window of opportunity with 2 weeks left to save the venture, and there are people who are working to save the venture. That's all I'm at liberty to kind of say, and hopefully sometime this week some brighter news will be shared. So that's it. That's all I can really say. But thank you to everybody. Thank you for even caring. Thank you for even caring. Even those of you who dislike FAMU, those of you who might dislike me, I don't know why you would dislike me. I'm a likable, lovable guy. But anyway, thank you for caring enough to express an opinion, and hopefully, radio is alive. I've seen some very interesting posts, by people saying, "Hey, it's 2026. Everybody's streaming," and I'm like, every time people try to kill radio, radio is alive and well, folks. And
even if it's digital, because I'm a big Sirius XM person.
I am too.
I don't listen to a whole lot of terrestrial radio anymore.
Yeah. So there are many ways in which you want people, and one of the things I thought I was going to have time to do is kind of look at and say how many SWAC schools have audio broadcast or radio station broadcast, and
did we count 7 when we did that?
I think we counted about 7 or 8, and I think that may have been low. I'm trying to think who doesn't have, and I think it's probably easier to figure out who doesn't have one than it is to say who does have one. So if you guys in the chat can think of any SWAC schools that do not have radio
SWAC or BAC. This is because we got some BAC people in here. Does your school have radio, or do you know of another school in your conference with radio? It could be digital radio. It does not have to be terrestrial.
Gotcha. All right. Let's get ready to head to the break, because coming up on the other side, Kyle T. Mosley is going to join us. Now, if you're not following Kyle on social media, if you're not following HBCU Legends, if you're not checking out, you are missing out on some great reporting. Just today, Kyle drops this little gem, right? Who's in control at TSU? This dropped probably about 4 or 5 hours ago. Another great article by Kyle, just to let people know how this process is working. Kyle is working overtime. Again, I don't know who else is covering it like Kyle is, but Kyle Mosley is really in tune, got some great sources, and he is dropping some really, really good information. He's coming up on the other side. Really excited to be able to talk with him and catch everybody up with how this process is truly playing out. As I think in reading that most recent article, I believe some news will be finally breaking, and this process may be finalized Wednesday. I don't know, but I'll let Kyle talk to us all about that coming up on the other side. So hang tight. We'll be back right after these words. Kyle T. Mosley, HBCU Legends on SI, will be joining us, and we'll talk about the hiring at Texas Southern University, potentially Ashley Robinson as athletic director, and who knows, a new basketball coach, maybe, maybe not. We'll find out on the other side.
Damn you, fam you.
You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Do you own a business, have a service or product, apparel, entertainment, or food? Would you like to reach an educated client base that are loyal? Then the Urban Passport Business Directory is for you. The Urban Passport is your premier digital discount and media portal with the Urban Digital Television Networks and V108 radio properties embedded. Stay connected with the community with the latest news, entertainment, and HBCU sports and culture with the Black College Sports Network. Visit myjbn.com/passport to register your business and sign up for your free app before the August 24th release date. We are the premier digital national urban business directory, always free to the consumer. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book, and your digital passport to a world of savings. Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
All right, folks, joining us right now live from somewhere, I believe, down there in H-Town in Houston, Texas, where all the news is happening these days in the HBCU sporting diaspora. Kyle T. Mosley, HBCU Legends. Kyle, what's good, brother? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining the show.
What's going on, AD? What's going on, Brian? How y'all doing?
What's going on, man? See,
Hey,
Kyle got the cheat code because he actually down there in Houston. So all this stuff happening there in Houston, he's kind of boots on the ground and everything. So he got lucky with this one. It's a lot easier when you in the city where it's happening. So, and you can really rely on Connor. But before I get into Connor, I got one more thing I want to say about radio because I can't get off this subject. One other thing everybody got to keep in mind. Yes, you do have the streaming option, but when your team is on the road, those people on that stream are they're biased towards the home team. I need to hear my voice is representing my teams on the road. So that's when you really need radio when your team is on the road so that you can get the whatever your institution's story and how it relates to that game. And you're not going to get that on the stream because the streams 9 times out of 10 are, they're biased towards the home team because they hire the announcers, or you just have a straight down the middle generic one if the game is on HBCU Go or ESPN Plus or something like that. What other plus for having your own radio? I'm sorry, I forgot to get that in.
All right. Well, Kyle, I guess just as a quick transition, we were throwing it out there before trying to figure out how many SWAC programs do not have radio stations or radio audio. Can you think of how many or who does not?
Well,
I mean, obviously not including FAMU now.
I was looking at the chat, and I was kind of surprised that PV gave up on the radio. I know
they did. Okay.
Texas Southern has radio.
Chatterbox.
We know Charles. Well, no, Chatterbox is no longer with the station.
Oh wow!
Is Devin Wade?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Chatterbox may come on with HBCU Legends during the week sometimes to kind of do some video content, but he's no longer with those guys.
And Charles Porter, correct? Is he still?
I don't think he is. If they got rid of PV radio, then I don't think he is. I was surprised, and I think that the Hall of Fame would put that on there. So.
All right. All right. Well, Kyle, as one of the things that, I wanted to bring you in to kind of, again, talk more about the story that you've been dropping all week. Some story left and right regarding the whole hiring process at Texas Southern University. Just in case you guys have been in a bubble somewhere, the most recent article, who's in control at TSU just recently dropped. Fascinating read. Who is in control? So, I mean, usually it's I don't know. It's been a crazy situation of late. So who is in control, Kyle?
Well, what we do know is the Board of Regents is the one body that's driving this whole process, and along with President Crawford, right? So the chairman, Benham, he's really been involved with the whole process as well. I think right now you have a situation where Texas Southern, the Board of Regents, they identified Ashley Robinson as their athletic director, and they have also identified Corey Lowry as the person for the basketball program. Then you have a contingency of alumni that I'm told they're going to have a sort of a protest tomorrow and talk about how they want a different basketball coach. It may be a little bit too late in the whole process, right? But I think right now you have a lot of dysfunction that has gone on, how this whole process went. It was a lot of delays when it came down to how President Crawford wanted to conduct the search. He hired a search firm, DHR, to be able to handle the national search, and they identified a few people for the position. In doing so, it looks like they came out with Corey Lowry at the last moment.
usually you have. So how is it that somebody, I don't know who, somebody came to the decision to hire a basketball coach before you hired an athletic director? Usually you like to have an athletic director and that person makes the hire of the coaches. Did the interim athletic director present this Corey Lowry?
No.
So how did his name get in the mix?
Okay, Brian, from what I'm told is that he had a relationship with President Crawford. I think when President Crawford was at the last university he was the president of, Feliciana, something to that nature. They lived in close proximity to one another and they knew one another. So I think it was more of he had knowledge of Lowry as a coach and he wanted him a part of his program.
And I don't know if this is a situation, but from my experience, when a president makes a hire in lieu of the athletic director or around the athletic director, it has never been good for that relationship between the athletic director and said coach, because who is the coach really reporting to? Yes, I know who he's supposed to report to, but who is he really reporting to if the president is his boy or his lady, and that's the person who made the hire? That coach, on the surface, really appears to have more power, more say than the athletic director who they're supposed to report to. I have rarely seen that work out in a good fashion. And it doesn't matter what sport it is, it's always a little bit trepidation. And I'm like Brian, hiring the basketball coach and the athletic director simultaneously is a little bit odd.
It's, to say the least, odd.
That's the best word.
Well,
I can put.
Okay, so
I'm gonna cut you off. Now, here's my question: how did we get here, Kyle? Because the athletic director position, Kevin Granger was released in February, according to your article, was
March.
Released in February. It was made public in March. From what I was getting, it was like the last week of February, but made public in early March. So obviously, you would think that timeline for the athletic director would have begun at that point. Johnny Jones resigned in April. And okay, so these are two very high profile positions. Why not, if you know the athletic director, because Texas Southern probably feels they have to get this right with this athletic director, which is why they're going after somebody with the caliber of Ashley Robinson. So they're trying to make sure that they get it right. So why not just stick with the interim for 1 year, let Ashley come in, evaluate, decide whether to keep the young man or decide to bring in his own? I mean, common sense, but we doing some anyway.
Okay, all right. The president wanted to make this hire, both of these hires. He wanted to have the support of his, I guess the best word to say, his legacy, right? That he made the coach hire and he made the athletic director hire. Remember, he's the one who didn't give Dr. Granger what people would think due process, right? Because he wasn't found guilty on any counts or anything to that nature. It became a civil suit, and I think that has kind of disappeared, so to speak. Okay, so I think we're in a position where you have a president that wanted to be able to make his mark on the institution that he's leading. And that's why he decided to take control of the process, hire the search firm, and be able to set up the search committees, subcommittees that they have had to help them with the whole process as well.
How long has Dr. Crawford been the president at TSU?
Is this his third year? Going into his third year, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. He obviously, so Ashley Robinson is his choice for athletic director.
That is what we've been told. Yes.
Okay.
Now, don't forget Tony Wiley, right? Tony Wiley is the former NFL executive for Texans, Commanders, Titans. Has an MBA from Rice, Texas Southern alum. He could be a great backup in case something falls through. Or they could create a position for Tony.
So, where is Tony Wiley at right now? What is he?
Tony's on the East Coast. He's on the East Coast, I believe, in the Washington, D.C. area.
So he's not even a part of the Texas Southern administration other than being alum and well thought of,
highly respected alum, backs the organization, backs the athletic department for many, many a year.
Okay. So now the contracts go before the board of trustees for both Robinson and Lowry.
Lowry, correct.
The board. I feel like I'm gonna get it confused, like Mike Lowry, from the.
I kept on saying that myself. It's Mike Lowry. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that, Coach. So they go into the meetings, the board of trustees meeting, and unanimous. Hey, we all love the contract, the offer, the concept, the thought of Ashley Robinson. I mean, we've seen what he's done at Jackson State. We've seen what he's done at everywhere else. He's been in the SWAC, and we love it. It would be great for us. Now, but the mixed reviews. Where was the divide with the basketball coach?
Well, okay, so they had two committees that met on Friday. There's a personnel committee and litigation committee, and there's an athletic committee. Athletic committee, it was two people versus one who they didn't think we should advance his name forward. I'm talking about Coach Lowry. For Ashley Robinson, everybody was on board. The personnel and litigation committee, I think that was more of a 3-0 against Coach Lowry. Okay. So if you look at the Texas Southern Regents bylaws, that really doesn't matter. That's purely advising what we think y'all should do. Okay. Those people can change their minds when it comes to the final vote. And I think that's a lot of what's happened as well. That's why President Crawford, as well as Chairman Benham, have not stopped the process for the vote on Wednesday.
So, Kyle, let me ask you this question. These committees that you are speaking of, are these committees made up of the other members of the Board of Regents? Like, I think
Yes.
there's eight regents. So, and a ninth one from a student position. So
That's correct.
they make up the committees amongst that group of 9, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the student doesn't have a voting choice.
Okay.
Just
There's more
that
of an
position
advisory
is
vote.
more just as a representative from the student body.
Okay. So, all right. So anyway, I'm just curious about this this process and everything. So, and for either one of these two people to get hired, they must get how many votes?
Majority rules.
So with
If
8,
it's
that
all
means
9,
5-3.
Yeah, if it's 8, it's 5, 3, whatever. If it's 9, it's what, at least 5-4, right?
Well, you said only 8 votes, so
Well, yeah, I'm just
yeah,
giving you an example. It's
Yeah.
majority,
yes. Got you.
and that's
So,
within the bylaws as well.
So even though it's been recommended not to advance Lowry, he is up for vote. I mean, they could still, if I read your article correctly today, they could technically, when it goes before Wednesday is the vote, or Wednesday is when everything is being presented for vote. Wednesday, they could conceivably approve. Now, again, this is the approval of the contracts, correct? Which is kind of different than what my beloved university did recently. Some of y'all know, if you know, you know, where the approval came after the fact. But in this case, this is the approval before, and then still, so both could get approval, and then at that point, Robinson and Lowry still have to say yes and accept the position.
That is correct. You know, and I think one of the points Terry Harris and you got to give Terry Harris some credit as well. He's with the Defender over in Houston as well, award-winning journalist, right? So, matter of fact, he just won another award for the NABJ for one of his articles on the SWAC. So anyway, Terry and I were talking about that. Why would they have originally put this board meeting for the 28th? That's a lot of time to be able to give somebody to come in and give a counter offer, right? And there's still a possibility. We don't know if Jackson State is going to say, hey, we'd like to have you to stay. We don't know if Ashley would have a change of heart and decide to stay as well. We don't know if Corey Lowry would get another job offer somewhere.
Right.
So Kyle, when does the board normally meet? You know, this special meeting. So do they meet quarterly? Do they meet monthly? How do they normally meet?
They have an agenda. Sometimes it's more than a month and a half, something to that nature. I don't know.
Okay.
How much do the allegations of the coach supposedly making making contact with players prior to even accepting the job and getting the job, how much of that is factored into maybe some of the disapproval that members of these committees have? Potential NCAA violations, is any of that on the president's mind or the board's mind from what you hear from your sources?
I don't believe that's going to have any bearing based upon what President Crawford wants to achieve here.
Okay.
So think about this. If something like that happens, and I read the NCAA staff has to be able to come with the investigation, be able to do their forensics, right? To be able to choose and decide if they would like to proceed on with any penalties or if there is any clear-cut infractions there. So I know Terry brought that up as a possibility. I just couldn't corroborate it.
Okay.
I'm not saying his work is wrong. I just couldn't corroborate.
Sure. Gotcha. All right. So the meeting is scheduled for the 19th, which is Wednesday.
Is that public as far as like on the Zoom or something like that? Or is it just you got to be on campus to be at that meeting?
I think this is one you have to be on campus. And I was talking to a couple of people about that. I think right now, I don't think they had a Zoom meeting in a long time, if I'm not mistaken. But I think this is something is either going to be on campus or it's going to be closed quarters. I don't know. Didn't read the full agenda when it came to who's invited and who's not.
Yeah, and usually standard procedures when you're talking a matter of personnel, good faith and character, et cetera, even though it's a public meeting, they usually go into executive session to discuss those portions of the meeting. That's usually the flow, how those tend to go, at least in the public sector.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this, man. I think right now Texas Southern has the opportunity to make some impact, and especially with that athletic director position. Now, if it's Tony Wiley or if it's Ashley Robinson, whomever they choose there, I think is going to be a good hire, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, right? For the school itself, they still have to work out how they're going to operate going forward, and how, or if Ashley or whomever takes that athletic director's position, and the VP is because it's a VP and director of athletics, right? They're going to have to allow them to be able to make the changes that they need to make. And in my opinion, because they still would like to keep some of the old staff around, and some of those guys are great people. So how will he integrate those staffs is going to be very interesting to see.
Is there any hangover from the Fred McNair issue that happened a few years back? Is there still any kind of residuals that are still hanging around in the air about that whole process and how that whole went down?
Yeah, with the alumni kind of feels kind of the same thing. You know, are we going to get the okie doke? Are we going to get the switcheroo? Or what's going to happen there? And I think when you come to this board making decisions on personnel, especially with personnel with sports decisions, you have to be able to be very cautious in your approach. I would have loved to have heard more from alumni way before the process got to this point. Now you have alumni wanting to be a part of the process, wanting their voice to be heard, but it may be too late to do so.
Right, because did anyone even, I mean, if this was coming from the president, it wasn't like the president was asking alumni. It wasn't like,
he was not asking alumni.
Yeah, this was like the interim AD. The interim AD wasn't involved in this, so it wasn't like, who knew that this was happening? And then all of a sudden, bam, it's happening. And it's like, wait a minute, this is who we're hiring?
Well, I think Dr. Jackson was involved.
Okay.
She was involved. She helped. Remember, she's the one who put out the announcement that they were going to utilize a national search firm.
Right. And the one thing I would say, look, I'm not speaking for alumni of Texas Southern, but one thing that I do notice, unlike the Fred McNair situation where the process that you normally assume of the AD hiring the coach, then the coach, and then the AD takes the contract to the board, that's how that process worked, where this process is more like the board is involved way before anybody has sort of been offered a job technically, right? I mean, it's kind of
okay. All right, Brian. Remember, Dr. Granger brought Fred McNair's name before them. It was about to be a done deal. All they needed to do is just approve it. One board member said, "No, I want an NFL guy. I want somebody with some pro experience, a big name or whatever." Then another and another kind of agreed. They tabled McNair's candidacy. They went back through a kind of pseudo process and interviewed Chris Dishman. Wow. Now you have your NFL guy. Remember, they also wanted Andre Johnson as a possibility.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so let me ask this then. Let me ask this real quick. In that process, do you think or did you hear that Kevin Granger, former athletic director, did he have previous support of Fred McNair from the board, and then something changed, something or somebody changed. So it's like you had the support, and then all of a sudden you didn't have the support.
Somebody pulled the rug and basically.
Wow.
Wow.
That's dirty pool is like they say in some places. Dirty pool.
My last question.
I had two sources telling me, hey, it's McNair, right? And I was kind of verified that with a major source, it was McNair. I went on HBCU game day saying it's McNair. What? It's not McNair? Everybody was surprised, man. You know,
is that board of Hold on, Drew. Is that board of Regents member still a part of this process?
Yes.
Oh boy.
So get this. That board of Regents member is on the opposite side now.
Oh Lord have mercy.
So my last question for you, Kyle. We know the two names that are going to be presented in this special call meeting.
Right.
Let's assume one or neither one of them garner enough votes, or even before they get to the point where they present the names. Could you understand the process with this, I'm hoping. Could another name surface Wednesday, either before the vote, or if there's a no vote from one of them, could that surface up Wednesday and they take immediate action on make an offer to that person, or does it have to go back down and go through a vetting process again? Do we know this?
The real answer is yes, it could. I don't know if it's going to go through that vetting process one more time, but I'm just telling you, I think both of these names have advanced to the point of no return.
All right. Wow. I can't wait to continue to follow this.
Again, I'm gonna have to put this disclaimer now.
Okay.
What happened last time. We don't know. This is Texas Southern Board of Regents. You don't know what's going to happen, man. That's the beauty of this whole deal. You don't know if you're going to get French's chicken or Popeye's chicken, or you're going to get some Mickey's soul food, whatever. You just got to be able to have a surprise bag waiting for you. That's it, man.
Okay,
I'm making light of this, but
I'm just
saying this is the kind of the dysfunction that's been happening, and what's concerning a lot of alumni is putting a negative light on Texas Southern as a whole, and it's unfortunate because they're not the ones making the decisions.
And I would imagine the hope for the president, Dr. Crawford, correct? And maybe even the board is that perception that you spoke of, a gentleman by the name of Ashley Robinson with his kind of gravitas and the respect that comes with him as being one of the best ADs in the SWAC will level off some of the concerns, or at least it'll be a positive going into a period when they've got plans to expand and build new facilities and do some exciting things.
Okay, all right. You're going too far.
Why are you shaking your head?
You're going too far.
Okay. All right.
Don't forget we got another interview, Brian.
And I'm just going to leave you guys with this. Ashley Robinson is a great hire, in my opinion. Can't go wrong. I think he'll do an excellent job here in the Houston area, if that's what he wants to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong with Tony Wiley if that's what he wants to do. I don't know much about Coach Lowry. My interaction with him hasn't been extremely positive. So I just would like to say I hope everything goes well with whomever they choose for both of these positions and can be able to bring some winning to Texas Southern University.
All right. We'll leave it at that. I won't dig any deeper. I will encourage you all to make sure you're following Kyle on social at Kyle T. Mosley. Make sure you are tuned
Right,
in.
Right, G.
Okay. Make sure you're following HBCU Legends. Check out HBCU Legends on SI and be looking for the latest story. Again, if you haven't read the latest story, who's in control at TSU, I encourage you to go check it out. It's available now. Came out earlier this afternoon, and get a little background. You know, we got a lot of folks in the chat who, you know, they
Thanks,
sometimes
Edwin. Edwin's a good supporter. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, they like to think I'm messy, but you know, this is for some of y'all out there who like messy and just chaos. Well, okay, go. It ain't always FAMU. So that's all I'm gonna say, and just leave it at that.
Thank you, Texas Southern. Somebody playing the rodeo clown over there.
Somebody else take FAMU off the front pages. All right, Kyle. What you got back there?
Go Morehouse.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Go Morehouse.
Hey, look, that's my what did I call him last week, Drew? That's my sleeper pick.
Sleeper
in the SIC. All right, I'm
good
just
man.
telling you.
Good man,
I'm officially claiming to be the first person in public spaces to hype up outside of AD Drew to hype up Morehouse this year. I'm just saying.
Right. And guys, I know I have to go, but the reason why I say go Morehouse, a lot of people say you're a homer for PV or you're a homer for Texas Southern. No, my loyalty is here, Morehouse College. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We've all learned to not listen to those people. But anyway, Kyle, thank you for your time today. Please, you guys make sure you're following Kyle and stay in tune to everything that he's producing.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Kyle, be well.
Take care. Bye.
Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk to the athletic director of Stillman College, Terrance Whittle, and find out how, why, and when Stillman football will return to the, I don't know what conference.
We just going to say NAI.
Talk about it. What level? We'll talk about all that and more with him on the other side. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. Be back in a few moments.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Register your business for the premier urban business directory in the country, the Urban Passport. Visit myjbn.com/passport. The Urban Passport, the evolution of the Green Book.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
Planning an event? From weddings to corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC brings over 15 years of experience to make your vision a reality. Based in Metro Atlanta and serving statewide, even internationally, we provide versatile event planning and authentic catering cuisines tailored to your needs. Whether it's pre-game meals for student athletes, fundraisers, weddings, corporate functions, CMJ Events LLC is your one-stop solution for exceptional service and unforgettable food. Our diverse culinary heritage means we cater to all cultural tastes, dietary needs, and food restrictions, making every meal uniquely yours. Let's make your next event unforgettable. Visit us on all social media at CMJ Events LLC or email us at cmjeventsllc@gmail.com. Also give us a call at 404-664-3882 so that we can start planning now.
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Tune in to the BCSN Pod Zone, the aggregate of some of the best HBCU sports shows on the net. Find them on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere you hear podcasts.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. Well, Stillman College announced earlier this week on August 14th the return of its football program, restoring a proud tradition that has long united students, alumni, and the Tuscaloosa community while advancing the college's vision for the future. The return of Tiger football represents more than the revival of an athletic program. It reflects Stillman's commitment to enhancing the student experience, supporting enrollment growth, strengthening alumni engagement, and creating new opportunities for community partnership as the college honors the legacy while building for the future. There's a quote from Dr. Yolanda W. Page, the president of Stillman. She says, football has a special place in the history and spirit of Stillman College. As we celebrate 150 years of educating students and transforming lives, we're also looking boldly toward the next 150 years. The return of football is an opportunity to strengthen the student experience, reconnect generations of Stillman alumni, and create new energy and opportunities for our campus and the Tuscaloosa community. Well, let's find out and let's talk to the man who is a part of that change and that growth, none other than the athletic director of Stillman College, Terrance Whittle. A.D. Whittle, who I think is on the road right now. We've got you there. A.D. Whittle, are you there? I know he's on the road. A.D. Whittle, are you there? All right, so we don't have him just yet. But let me see if we can.
Let me shoot him a text right quick.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm just going to kind of continue to read a little bit from the article here on the website. I believe, let's see, the last Stillman football kind of, when did it go away, Drew? Was it 2015?
14, 15, somewhere up around there. 14, 15, 16, somewhere up in there. Because at one point they had dropped everything except for basketball due to some financial issues with the college. So for them to come back and be able to add football back is a great thing. A lot of people may or may not remember Stillman was a member of the SIAC when they dropped football.
That's what I was going to say. The conference that they were a part of.
Yes.
So I think it looks like he's just dropped off and gonna.
Matter of fact, just kind of timeline. Stillman and Spring Hill kind of almost coincided when Stillman dropped. I believe Spring Hill came on about a year or two later into the SIAC.
Okay. And currently, Stillman is a part of what conference right now?
They just went from the Southern States Athletic Conference to the HBCU AC. I believe this is their second year in the HBCU AC. He's second or third year in the HBCU AC.
Okay. So one of the things that I'm interested to hear from A.D. Whittle is obviously the HBCU AC is not a football playing conference. So unless, they probably definitely come in as an independent and or be looking to kind of partner into or move into another conference in the NAIA level as a football only member.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
okay.
trying to come back in.
Yeah, I think we may be. Okay, I think we got him now.
We got him.
All right. We got you now. A.D. Terrance Whittle of Director of Athletics at Stillman College. Thank you for joining us. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well, guys. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing well, man. Thank you for taking some time out to join us here today. So, congratulations! Still, football is back at Stillman College. What's the excitement and the response been like from alumni, former players, etc.?
Man, it's exceeded my expectations. Since Thursday, we released Thursday evening, and it's really been exciting. We've had a lot of feedback, a lot of traffic from alums, from the community at large, some folks around the region. So we're just excited, man, about what the possibilities bring as we continue to chart this path forward to relaunch football.
Take us through, if you can, behind the scenes of the timeline of, because we've been here. I've been hearing a lot of talk about football coming back to Stillman for at least 5 years, at least that I've been paying attention, maybe even longer. What is the realistic? When did the conversation start, and what were some of the steps that needed to be put in place before this announcement could actually be made?
Well, I mean, the conversations, really began a few years ago, but they were just really soft conversations. A lot of it was just about, can we support football? What would it look like? What's a realistic timetable for us to announce football? And so as those conversations began to strengthen and really began over the past year or so, become more serious amongst, the leadership and stakeholders at Stillman, this was the perfect time to kind of lay that foundation now with an announcement about the direction that we want to go with supporting our institution's 150th anniversary celebration this year. So it was a really good time to kind of jump on that momentum about all the good things happening at Stillman College. And then also, a really good time for us to look at how this will impact the institution from an enrollment standpoint of view, grow the institution, grow some programming, provide some opportunities, for other avenues on our campus. And also, this is a really great time to jump on the coattails of what we've done the past few years with hosting the HBCU men and women's basketball championships. And it's also the precursor and aligning with what we're doing now with hosting the HBCUAC baseball and softball championships in conjunction with the city of Northport and Visit Tuscaloosa. So the timing for all this was actually a build-up, man, to the momentum that we've been able to achieve with the growth of athletics at Stillman College.
Nice. Go ahead, Drew.
So, Coach Whittle, probably one advantage that you guys have there in Tuscaloosa at Stillman College is the fact that you guys used to have football, which means you have a lot of the infrastructure already in place, i.e. your stadium still looks in a good condition last time I was on your campus. and some of those other things that if you were not previously a football playing institution or an institution that had played football for 30 years may not have those type of advantages. So talk about that. Did that help the fact that you don't have to build a stadium. You already have a stadium. You already have locker rooms. You already have some basic things that you're going to need that are not going to set you back financially.
Yeah, well, I mean, that helps. But I don't think it was really the driving factor behind that. It really plays a part in knowing the infrastructure for us is there. So I do think that the really driving factor behind us really wanting to announce this new avenue for Stillman College was what direction we want to go into as we support our goals for our 2030 strategic plan with the college. And I think football is aligning with that. It's more than just infrastructure that we have. It's more than just the nostalgia associated with announcing football. I also think it's a way for us to connect and extend the economic engine that we believe football can add to what we've already done in Tuscaloosa. So this is really bigger, man, than what we have on campus, but it's also an extension of the impact that we're going to have in Tuscaloosa, the impact that we're going to have in the state of Alabama, and hopefully regionally.
Now, you mentioned Tuscaloosa. Obviously, there's a team that's about that much bigger than you guys that also play in Tuscaloosa there. So, and me being the marketing person that I am, how does Stillman find its footing in that Tuscaloosa, Birmingham market, given the fact that you do have the University of Alabama shadow and Auburn shadow and some of those other ones? How are you going to distinguish yourself and be able to get out? Because Stillman, while University of Alabama has their program, a lot of the elites and everything else, there is a market for Stillman football, but how are you guys going to be able to get that out and take advantage of that market?
Yeah, I don't think we would have to reintroduce anything related to Stillman College. Stillman College has been serving the state of Alabama 150 years now, and we're not really going anywhere. We have a really good blueprint, a really good imprint, a really good impact in Tuscaloosa. The students that we serve, the communities that we serve, and people understand the economic impact that Stillman has currently. And so I do think that we will add to the luster and the lure of what Tuscaloosa is by bringing a different asset, or bringing a different asset to the community. So our fans have always been there, even without football. But I do think this will attract new fans and new interest in Stillman College.
Last one before I turn it over to Bryan. Now, you make this announcement a few months after your HBCU AC rival there in the state of Alabama, Andre Payne at Talladega, announced that they are partnering with a prep school football program, which may be the precursor or the test pilot for them ultimately adding football at Talladega, which we've heard those similar rumors like we used to hear about Stillman bringing football back. If Talladega should bring football back, along with you guys starting football, what does that mean to that rival between you two? Because unless you've been there with that rival between Stillman and Dega, which I have witnessed personally, a lot of people don't understand that that's a sneakily great rivalry there in the HBCU AC.
I think, man, that will only grow. At this point in time, we're not looking at what that would look like. We're really focused on how we could best support Stillman, the best footing for Stillman, and then ultimately we'll continue to look down the road when it comes to alignment in terms of conference affiliation. We'll continue to stay NAIA for right now. But those things for us, man, are really about focusing on what we can do for Stillman College, how we can grow that. And then we will hope that others will see the path that we've taken and want to be a part of that.
Go ahead, Bryan.
A.D. Whittle, I want to come back to the how this came together. Were there any sort of financial hurdles or financial benchmarks that needed to be established prior to making this announcement?
Well, I don't want to say there's been so much of a hurdle to cross. There's been a lot of intentionality with our current administration, with our college leadership, with our board of trustees, about the path that we're going to take. Obviously, those things always come to mind, but I do think that the benchmarks that we're going to achieve right now, and I'm glad you kind of mentioned benchmarks. You know, the benchmarks that we're going to kind of look at right now are where do we align conference-wise. We're going to continue to put our scheduling together. Those things kind of impact where we sit. And then also we'll look at our leadership of the program and what it's going to look like as we continue to build this path out.
So what does as much of a timeline as you can tell us right now, what does that look like? I mean, hey, feel free to go as far back and say, hey, we'll be kicking off the season on September whatever in 20 whatever. But what is the timeline for the future look like?
Yeah, and that's, as I mentioned just a second ago, those things are going to be aligned with what our scheduling looks like. They're going to be aligned with our conference affiliation. Where do we sit in that space? So I do think that facilities are going to play a big part in that, and how we continue to build out the program. So as our announcement kind of referred to, all of those benchmarks will be announced at a later date as we're building out the what I believe are the important factors right now towards that, which is scheduling and membership affiliation.
All right, so I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm done. So would it be, and you don't have to answer it, but would it be ideal to be able to name a football coach by the end of 2026? Taking into consideration that you got all year to watch teams, coaches, situations that play out, all of that stuff. Would it be ideal by the end of this year to have a named coach?
Yeah, that's always the idea, but that's what we're sorting through now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I had to ask it. All right.
Coach Whittle, great job bringing this to everybody's attention and getting this program off the ground. But you also do have some football that actually is going to be played on your campus this year, correct me if I'm wrong, with women's flag football coming to Stillman College. Do you want to talk about that, A.D. Whittle?
Yeah, that's correct. We're excited. Yeah, we're excited about that. We announced women's flag football last December. We've really gotten some a lot of interest in and outside of Tuscaloosa for that. We hired our coach this past June. He hit the ground running. We have a number of new freshmen, which is really what we were focusing on to kind of build that program out. So we really expect year one to be able to compete. We'll have a schedule of about 10 games in our first season. And so having women's flag football in our portfolio, I believe, was kind of a ground barrier for the announcement for major football.
Yeah. Will you have a conference affiliation for flag, or will you be independent this year?
Well, we're going to be independent this year. And as the program continues to grow, then we'll find a landing spot for women's flag football. As you know, it's a really, really good emerging sport, not just in NAIA, but across the country. So the future's bright for where we could space our women's flag football program.
Right. Will there be a potential enough HBCU AC teams where you guys could just stay in the conference right now? Is the momentum gaining in the HBCU AC in the flag football space?
I don't want to speculate about what other HBCU AC teams are going to onboard flag football. I do know there's been some talk about that. So we just kind of wait and see right now of who has the interest and who's going to kind of jump on that bandwagon as this team.
Yeah. And before I let you get out of here, once again, a lot of people who don't follow the NAIA space do not realize how good Stillman athletics are. Their men's and women's basketball teams are always perennial powers. One, if not both of them, make it into the NAIA tournament. Baseball, which A.D. Whittle used to coach there until a couple of years ago, has always been a national player, along with their softball team, maybe one of the top NAIA HBCU softball teams out there. So a lot of good things going on over there at Stillman College, under the leadership of A.D. Terrance Whittle, who's buffering right now. So he doesn't hear anything that I'm saying about him right now, probably.
Yeah, he might have hit a spot in the road where
he hit that spot on 82 heading back to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, where everything was working well, and then it went out. So we appreciate A.D. Whittle, A.D. Terrance Whittle of Stillman College for joining us, and we look forward to following the process. Now, let me ask this before we go to break, Drew. What would you say are the actions, if you had to plan this out, now that they've made the announcement, what are the action steps that you would go about doing, or what do you think should be the action steps at this point?
Actually, Brian, if you remember the previous institution where I worked with, we actually went through this, and I came on during the middle of that process before they started their inaugural season. First thing is, which they already have, is identifying where they're going to play. And when I mean where they're going to play, their actual physical facility, and whether you're going to practice in that same facility or have a separate practice field, those type things. Those are infrastructure things that the president's office needs to make in conjunction with the athletic director. Obviously, the hiring of the first football coach. So now, I don't know if the president is going to be involved in this hiring, because, and the reason I say that, because in this case, this is a high-profile hiring. You would hope that they would let the AD go through and make the selection.
I'm sure AD Whittle will work with the president.
Yeah,
in this process.
These are my top three. I like this one, but who do you like?
Yeah.
Also, once you get that, then after you get your coach, Ryan, the next thing is inventory.
Okay.
What do you have to buy?
Yeah.
And when you start up a program, you have to buy everything. Those helmets and shoulder pads that they used 10 years ago when they dropped their program.
They probably giving those away, Drew. They probably donating
even if you do find them in the closet, they probably can't get certified anymore.
I'm sure those things aren't around anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go through that, all the equipment that you're gonna need, headsets.
Mention the facilities. You mentioned something. All that's going to be new, Drew. You talking about stuff. All that stuff from 10, 15 years ago ain't good no more. They're going to have to get all new stuff.
All new. Anything electronic.
You mentioned facilities. Now, I was not aware that's of the facilities, and these are so they have an on-campus stadium. Is that correct?
Yes, they have a football campus on football stadium on campus. It's right. It's the back part of their campus. Baseball. Matter of fact, to get to the baseball and softball field, you have to drive past the stadium. It's on the back side of the stadium, and the bathrooms that you use when you're at baseball and softball are part of the football stadium complex.
Does anybody use it since football has been, the high schools use it or anything?
I don't know if high schools use it, but they do have a track program, so I do know the track is still being utilized there.
Oh, so there's a track around the football stadium.
Yeah, there's a track around the football field. So I do know that. And like I say, last time I was there, because I was there, we played them in baseball. Whoa, that was in March or April of this year. I think it was in early April. But the stadium looks good. Now it's a natural grass surface right now. And there's another. Do you keep it as natural grass or do you go ahead and install the turf?
Yeah. Well, so, I'm interested. I didn't know, I think it's good because when you first mentioned, in my head, visually, having never seen it, and I my first thoughts went to the Morris Brown dilapidated stadium, which has become like a home for homeless, and it's been used on movie sets. And it's just like, I remember the Morris Brown Stadium obviously was a feature in the movie Drumline. And then now when you look at it, it looks like the bomb dropped on it. It's been used for movies like The Walking Dead and other things like that, right? But so it's good to know that their stadium is in use. So I think that's big. What you just mentioned about that they have facilities. Not too early. Let's quickly throw out some names. Who would be good fits to rebuild Stillman College football? Any obvious names or names?
That's one obvious name. Let me see. He's a Stillman alum. I don't know if a lot of people realize that.
Who?
Keith.
Really?
Yes. He's a Stillman alum. He's a former coach at Stillman.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well,
I mean that's the most obvious name. If he decides to
he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a job coaching, at least in college. Not that I'm aware of.
No, he's not coaching this year. No, he's not coaching this year anyway.
Hey,
so okay. I mean, I'm not putting it out there, but you say the obvious name. That is the obvious name.
Teddy Keaton. Keaton. Interesting. Okay. Did not know that he was a Stillman College alum.
Got his coaching started at Stillman.
Woo,
He started off as an SA student assistant at Stillman.
Well,
and ultimately made it to the top.
That would be interesting. Well, we do know there's a lot of talent in the Alabama region that they have to draw on.
Forget the Alabama region, Brian. You got Mississippi next door.
Okay.
You got plenty of talent over there in Mississippi also that you can draw from, along with, and you're not that far from Georgia. So you got 3 states that you could pull from very easily, but you draw a 3-hour circle around Tuscaloosa, and there's a lot of talent in that area.
Hey, Ram Nation, you move where the job is. You move.
Hey, bro, don't sleep on Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa is not a bad place.
But you act like from Atlanta to Tuscaloosa is not. What's that? 2 hours?
3, just shy of 3.
Yeah, come on now.
3 hours. 3 hours.
And you gain an hour too. So
just at one time though, Brian. You only get it at one time.
I know. Good point. All right.
Yeah. Tuscaloosa's a small
they
city.
Gotta be. Well, yeah, you got a multi-million-dollar, doggone billion-dollar university right there in your backyard. So
yeah, you're 45 minutes from Birmingham.
All right, so it's not that bad.
And you're about just over an hour from Meridian, Mississippi. I'm trying to remember, you might be about an hour from Meridian, Mississippi. A couple hours from Jackson. So you're 2 hours from Montgomery. Maybe 3 hours from Nashville. So it's not a bad place.
All right. When we appreciate A.D. Terrance Whittle of Stillman College coming on to join us to kind of give us some background on the rebirth of Stillman College football. More to come as it relates to where
maybe 2 hours from Huntsville, Terrance. Maybe a little bit over 2.
the timeline of Stillman College and when it'll come back, you'll have to wait on that. Good job by A.D. Whittle not being committal on any of that. So
talking around.
Yeah, talking around. All right, when we come back on the other side of this break, we got season win totals for all 21. Yeah, let me see. 18. Yes, all 21 FCS football teams. It's now time to reveal the BCSN win totals for 2026. And this is a great opportunity. Do you think your school or this school will go over or under the BCSN total? So that's always a fun exercise.
Can I take even?
What's that?
Can I take even?
No evens. Everything is at a half unit, so you have to go over or under the number.
3 years ago, we had a half game.
We did?
Yeah.
Somebody finished with a tie?
Clark Atlanta, Florida Warrior in the rain game. They called it at a tie.
Okay, you're right. You're right. So it's rare. It's rare, and rare things do happen. Yes. All right. Hang tight with us. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. A.D. Drew. I'm Brian Fulford, and we'll be back right after these words. This is Brian Fulford. A.D. Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game. It's a journey to the legacy of historically black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that can propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins. The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain. Available now. Let the journey begin.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
The champs are here. 2 teams, 2 legacies, 2 championship-winning coaches on one stage. The 2026 Orange Blossom Classic. South Carolina State Bulldogs versus the FAMU Rattlers. September 6th, Labor Day weekend, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. You don't just want to watch it, you want to feel it. The sound of the bands, the energy in the stands, and the pride on every play. Get your tickets now at orangeblossomclassic.com. Built on history, fueled by pride.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap alongside A.D. Drew. I'm Brian Fulford. I did a little in the break. I was doing some little known facts about Stillman College football. Exactly. Is right. Let me quiz you and see what you remember. You did mention Teddy Keaton, right? That he was a coach.
Yes.
A head coach. And
yes.
The program back in 2011, he led to a share of the SIAC West Division title. Do you remember what their record was that year in 11 games played?
West, let's see. We won it in 12. We beat Tuskegee, won it in 12. And that's when it was all one division, if I remember correctly. I think they played 7 games. I'm going to say 5-2. I think it was 7 games back then.
Overall record.
Overall record.
Yeah.
8-3?
Close. 7-4.
Okay.
What is the name of the rivalry or the classic played between Stillman and Miles College? You remember what that's called?
I have no clue.
Think Pittsburgh.
Steelers Classic. Steel City Classic.
Bingo. Steel City Classic. Yeah, that was an interesting little fact.
You got the Iron Bowl and the Steel City Classic. Okay.
Yeah, the Steel City Classic is a rivalry between Miles and Stillman. Okay. The first NFL signee.
You just go ahead. You just skip me on this one. Give me
hold on. I'm gonna make it simple. I'm gonna see if you can think about. Okay, so this player. Now I'm not gonna ask you to think of the name, okay? But the player, the name, he was a cornerback. His name Brian Witherspoon. He was the first Stillman Tiger to make it to the NFL. He signed an undrafted free agent contract with this team in 2008. What team?
Arizona.
An AFC team.
Buffalo.
No. Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, one more question. The first drafted Stillman Tiger was the following year in 2009. Defensive tackle Sammy Hill was drafted by the Lions in what round?
7th.
4th.
Wow.
4th round. And that was Division II at that time, correct?
Yes, they were in the SIAC because they moved up in 05, 06 when they moved from NAIA to D2.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the seating capacity of Stillman Stadium?
I know you're asking too much.
It
is a 2-sided stadium.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a number. More or less
7,000.
Well, hold on. You want me to give you the number, or you want to give a number?
It's less than 10.
It is less than 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's what I'm saying. 7,000.
It's 9,000.
Okay, I'm a little bit off. Yeah.
All right. And do you recall what the name of the marching band was called?
Oh, now you asking too much now.
All right.
The Fighting Tigers.
The Blue the Blue Pride Marching Band.
All right.
So little known.
And I should know that because I've seen them in basketball games. I should know that. I should know about them.
I was going to say, I can't imagine that they got rid of the name just because the football team went away.
Yeah, because they have performed at a couple basketball games of theirs that I've been to. Hey, Brian, before we get into these win totals, did you see what Josh Baez did for my St. Louis Cardinals yesterday?
I did see it. 3
home runs in his first 3 major league at-bats. Yeah, and what was really amazing to me about that, The first one was the center field. The second was the left field. And the third was the right field. He had 3 home runs to all 3 parts of the park.
And if I'm not mistaken, the first one was on the first pitch, wasn't it?
Yes.
First pitch. That's Dr. Carey says historic. It was historic.
He was
the first. Yeah. What's the background on him other than being a minor league prospect? I guess was he highly drafted? I mean, I don't know. You know, did he play in college anywhere? What's the, you know? So I'm just curious. You know, thought you might know off the top.
No. Let's see. I'm just looking at that. No, there's nothing. There are 5 RBIs in the game between those 3 home runs.
Yeah. Well, hey, but while we're talking about our professional sports teams, shout out to the Fever Girls going into Atlanta and getting an overtime victory over the Dream. The Dream is over. Nightmare, Fever Nightmare. Second hottest team. I can't even call them the hottest team because that team in Minnesota is the hottest team in the W. But yeah. So anyway, shout out to the Fever.
Baez was born in Boston, but his family's from the DR, Dominican Republic, and they returned there after he was born. After he was born, was raised in a neighborhood 5 miles from Fenway Park.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was a high-level MLB prospect. So.
Okay. In other athletic administration news, North Carolina A&T names former administrator Katricia Lewis Verrett as its new director of athletics, which was first reported by HBCU Game Day back on almost 2 weeks ago. But the university made it official on Friday. She will begin the new role on September 1. She will oversee 17 intercollegiate programs, more than 300 student athletes, and nearly 50 coaches and staff members. Lewis Verrett, she currently serves as the deputy athletics director and senior women administrator at UAB in that's University of Alabama, Birmingham. However, she's no stranger to North Carolina A&T or the demands of the department. She worked there from 2011 to 2017, where she served as associate athletics director and senior women administrator. Her responsibilities included compliance, departmental health resources, and oversight of 33 staff members, including 7 head coaches. So Lewis Verrett, she will take over for Earl Hilton III, who is stepping down after 15 years leading North Carolina A&T athletics.
Brian.
Yeah.
Look at that search and that choice of an athletic director versus what's going on in Texas. Obviously, 2 different states, 2 different sets of state rules with 2 different state institutions, but just the optics of the 2 just seems totally different, night and day.
Well, I think it only seems different. Well, it is obviously every hiring process is different, but I think what you have is you have the history at Texas Southern, followed up by the oddity of hiring it. I think I can't recall the last time we've seen an AD, 2 positions. Like you're trying to push somebody at the Texas Southern is pushing through 2 positions at one time instead of usually. And somebody please correct me if you've seen it done differently, But from my recollection, usually you're trying to hire one, primarily the athletic director,
to hire the other.
But as Kyle said, the president has his hands in hiring or trying to hire both. And I think now we wait to see whether he'll get both. I mean, you have to imagine, Drew. I wish I would have pulled up somebody already had a photo of Ashley Robinson in a Texas Southern suit with the pin, with the lapel pin. They had that already ready.
Hey, mother.
But I think what's happening in a lot of places is, the why. And I think, we've speculated, a lot of people in different chat groups. I'm sure you guys are no stranger to the Facebook groups and all the other chat groups as to why. Why would Ashley Robinson leave? Well, I've heard things such as money. It's been reported that he makes in the 2s at JSU and that he would move into the mid 3s, and we're talking 6 figures. It's also been speculated that his family is in Houston. Houston and Jackson, Mississippi is what's that, a 5-hour travel distance? 4 hours
by car.
You've also got the situation. Well, and it's not a situation, but those people who are career minded. He's been at Jackson State since 2018, I believe.
That sounds about right. Since he made the switch from PV.
Yeah, so he's been there 8 years, and I'd argue, I don't think anybody will argue that he has put JSU in a better place than when he got it. And I'm not saying that it was in a bad place when he got it. I'm just saying that your goal when you go to a job is to, even if it's a little bit better, you're trying to make it better than when you got it. Because obviously, I think it's unrealistic to think somebody's going to stay at a place forever this day and age, right? I mean, not saying that position is not a destination job, but Robinson is still young. I mean, I don't even think he's not 50 yet.
No, he's not.
So his career path is still in front of him in terms of athletic administration. And if all the good work that he's done in 8 years in setting a great standard and a high level of excellence within that athletic department, where he is the model that I think a lot of fans, whether they choose to admit it or not, he's the example and model that you wish your athletic administration had. So I think he would definitely be a great fit. I think, don't you? You think he would be a good fit at Texas Southern?
I think he'd be a good fit wherever he wants to go in that area, wherever they want him to be at. That's kind of obvious. Because think about it, before Texas, before Jackson State, there was Prairie View, which he did a tremendous job at Prairie View also. Here's the question. What does Ashley have left to accomplish at Jackson State? Throw the potential to move money out. What does he really have left to accomplish at Jackson State as an athletic director?
That's another question I've heard a lot of people ask. Yeah.
So now there's always the we caught lightning in the bottle twice with Ashley Robinson for the great job he did at Prairie View to the job that he's done at Jackson State. We've caught lightning in the bottle twice. Does it translate for a third time? I mean, these are just questions out there. I'm not downplaying Ashley when I say that, but these are just realistic questions. Can he do it for a third time as at the top? And now there are a lot of people who may ask 3 times in the same conference.
There's an advantage to that.
Yes, there's an advantage, but you know, there are going to be some people that are going to say about the lateral when it's actually going to take the real big next step. But let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something, people. Sometimes people don't want to go. They're comfortable on that level and having success and doing what they do on that level, and there's nothing wrong with that.
First off, if the reports of the money are correct, that ain't a lateral move. That is a
lateral by position. Was what I mean.
Well, I mean,
SWAC athletic director, SWAC athletic director, SWAC athletic director. That's what I mean when I say the lateral.
Well, okay, I got what you're saying.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, but you know, I don't know. You know, there's a future conference commissioner. You know, and when you run a successful organization, the doors are open to a lot of great things. And I think now that he has proven and shown that he can effectively run athletic administrations at 2 different universities, it's got to be now 3. Yeah, he's got 3. Somebody said, was he also at Valley?
I know he's a Valley alum. I think he may have started there. I have to go back to my Wayback Machine on that one.
Okay, but having successfully run administrations at Prairie View, at Jackson State, you know, like you said, if he's able to be a part of, I think if he's able to be a part of the transitions that are coming to Texas Southern or that are planned, that will eventually open up even more doors and continue to be a nice little addition to his resume reel, so to speak, you know. So yeah, Ram Nation said he's been the most stable figure in Jackson. Okay, well, we look forward to seeing how.
Yeah, because they've had about 3 presidents since he's been there. I think of 3 off the top of my head. I might be maybe more.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess he has been the staple and standard over the last several years. So there you go. And yeah, thank you, G Boom, pointing out that his first job was his first AD position was at his alma mater, Valley. So, all right, good stuff. Okay, let's get into these season win totals and talk about season win totals on the FCS level, Drew.
That's a cold shot, Steve, but it's true.
I'm sorry, what did he say?
It's true.
Ooh, wow. Okay. I mean, are we charting that kind of thing across the, you know, are we charting that kind of thing across the HBCU sporting diaspora, Steve?
I don't think he's far off.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just curious if that kind of are we charting that kind of thing, you know? That's all. Just asking the question. All right.
It's enough JSU folks in here. How many presidents have y'all had since COVID? Since we counted how many athletic directors FAMU had since COVID. How many presidents has Jackson State had since since 2020. All my Jackson State folks in the chat.
I don't want to talk about that.
Hey, you petty B, we got to talk about it.
No, stop it. Stop it. Okay.
Right, let's get to
let's talk about the season win totals. Okay, so season win totals. We have it broken down into 4 different slides. We've got our MEAC slide, the SWAC East, SWAC West.
Count the interim presidents too, just like we did Jackson State. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. One of the things that I was looking at, and I was looking at our win totals from last year, and then
which I won.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Just make sure full disclosure. Make sure you put it all out there.
When I pull up the full matrix of teams that performed above expectation and below expectation, amongst the conferences in the MEAC, it was 3-3. Meaning 3 teams performed above, 3 teams performed below. In the SWAC East, only 2 schools performed above expectation, 4 below. The SWAC West was the opposite. 4 teams performed above expectation, 2 performed below. Which is what we kind of talked about last year, was sort of a coming out party for the SWAC West, as evidenced by the fact that Prairie View ended up winning the championship, right? And it kind of follows. But overall in the SWAC, 6-6. 6 teams above, 6 below.
What about the independents?
All right, now that's the kicker. Within the independents, it was miserable. All 3 schools, Tennessee State, North Carolina A&T, and Hampton, all performed below expectation. They all had 2-10 records, Drew. And we set the line at the lowest we've ever set a season win total. I charted this, and you'll see it here in the graphic, 2.5 games. We have never gone below 2.5 games. So with that said, thinking that those teams could win 3, maybe 4, all 3 schools went below. So what does 2026 look like? Well, let's go to the tape. All right. So here we go. For the FCS independent schools for this upcoming 2026 season, we're setting the number for Hampton and North Carolina A&T at 3.5. And for Tennessee State, we're setting it at 4.5. Now, if you look at the history, again, shows you in red last year, the 2-10s, and you can see where the line was for all of those schools last year. The total predicted, Hampton was at 5.5. A&T was 2.5, and they still went under. Tennessee State, coming off of a 9-4 season, was at 7.5, and they performed miserably. Really, over the past 3 years of doing this, A&T is the only school that has never cleared the mark that we set. And as you notice, we started at 5.5 back in 2023, coming off of their 2022 season. We set the line at 5.5. They went 1-10. We dropped it another year to 4.5, and they were 1-11. Last year, we set at 2.5, and they couldn't even clear that with a new coach. But I'm optimistic in A&T's struggle this year. I think there's a real opportunity that they may win more than 2 games this year, Drew. So I've set the line at 3.5. Now, first off, when you see those numbers, what are your instant thoughts and reactions when you see those numbers? And I'll tell you what the computer data predicts their season win total to be.
What I see is 3 programs. Which team we talking about specifically, A&T, or we talking about all three?
All three, any three. I mean,
Okay.
because as you can see, I set the line for Hampton and A&T at 3.5 and Tennessee State at 4.5.
No expectations, zero expectations. And for the two CAA teams, since joining the CAA, they have been putrid. That's the best word that I could use since joining the CAA. You know, they A&T had moderate success in the Big South. Hampton was starting to trend the right way in the Big South. That they both moved conferences. So, you know, maybe the CAA has come back to them. And what I mean by that, some of the top teams traditionally in the CAA have moved on to FBS. So maybe you can go and pick up a couple of conference wins because of that. Now, obviously, I believe they get, 3 non-conference games in the CAA? I believe they do 8 conference games. So who are you scheduled for those 3? Is one of those 3 a money game? One a D2, and then a fellow FCS. You know, all 3 of these doing that model. We know Hampton has their one always has the Norfolk game on their schedule. Most years they have the Howard game on their schedule. So that's 2 FCS opponents right there. And until recently, Hampton has dominated the Howard series.
Correct.
You know, Norfolk has been hit and miss for Hampton. Let me break it down for you. Hampton, while you mentioned Hampton, they have 10 games against FCS opponents. Okay.
They play 1 FBS opponent, Maryland, and then they play Virginia Lynchburg to open the season.
They got 1. Now, traditionally, they have played teams such as State or Union to open the season. A lot of times, it's usually Hampton and Union who cross up with each other, and Norfolk State and Virginia State. So, you know, and you obviously for A&T, Central has dominated that series as of late. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, any other? So
I was going to say one thing about Tennessee State.
Well, go ahead, because I'm trying to match as you're going through it. I want to be able to provide some context, but go ahead.
And for Tennessee State, really outside of the 1 year with Eddie George that they made that run and got to the playoffs. And I think the previous year they may have been around 500. The year they played Eastern Washington or something like that. Tennessee State really has not trended the right way either. So.
Well, I mean, you could see the win total. I mean, coming off of the 9-4 season, they were actually the Eddie George era of 22, 23, and 24. They were trending
the right direction,
right?
Yes.
And then they had the changeover, new coach, dropped to 2-10.
Barlow,
right. So they dropped to 2-10. Now. Here's the thing, and let me see what North Carolina. No, let's go to Tennessee State while you're there. Tennessee State, we set the line. What I set the number at 4.5, right? Tennessee State only FBS, only non-FCS opponent is Georgia, right? In week 2 after the Jackson State game to open the season. And then, of course, they play at Alabama A&M, at Florida A&M, and then they travel to at Western Illinois. So they have 4 road games Well, and if you count the Jackson State game, that's 5 road games, which is even in their city, but not at their home stadium. So, but after that game, they play 4 road games. North Carolina A&T, Drew, predicted once again to finish well below. Only predicted to win 1 game this year. And according to the preseason prediction, that 1 game is let me see, where is that one? That 1 game is against Chicago State.
A first-year program.
First year might be ranked as the worst FCS program. And it's a battle between them and Valley to be the worst ranked FCS opponent according to the computer. So let's do this. Let's go through the let's call it out here. Let's do over and under, Drew. The number with Hampton, 3.5. Are you going over or under?
Before I give my prediction on any of these 3 or for any of these the 21 that we have, Brian, please let me know which ones are only playing 11 games.
Okay, I can tell you that. So amongst this group, all of these are playing 12 games. Okay. Hampton, A&T, and Tennessee State are all playing 12. So let's start with Hampton. The number is 3.5. You going over or under?
Under.
I'm going under as well. A&T, 3.5. Over or under?
I like Sean Gibbs. I think Sean's gonna figure it out. I'll go give him over.
Okay. I'm actually going over as well. Tennessee State, 4.5. Over and under?
Under.
Okay, there's our first disagreement. I'm going over 4.5 for Tennessee State. All right. There we go. Let's see. Any comments in the chat? Anybody? Let's see.
Edwin, 2 thumbs down. Where's the third one? All right, he's got Tennessee State up, and he's got Hampton and A&T down. I'm assuming those came in order in the chats.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. G Boom said CSU, Chicago State, will be worse than Valley this year. Okay. That'll be interesting.
Coach Bobby wrong.
Aggie 76, A&T will cover. He says we're winning 4 or 5. Well, I mean, look, I'm taking the over. So that's probably about what I think you'll do as well. So there you go. I'm giving you 4 wins. You know, maybe. Can you get? I mean, look at that. Look at that string of 2-10, 1-11, and 1-10. My God. Man, brutal. But okay. The original recipe. Let's get it right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, 22 was still Big South. The 7-4 was Big South.
Yes, that was the Big South year. I think they just missed the playoff where if they could have added a 12th game, I think there was a 12th game eligible that year. They could have got in with 8 wins. I think they missed an opportunity late in the season to get in the playoffs in 22.
All right, here's a bold one.
Okay, Edwin, pump your brakes. We're not there. You show me. Edwin, you point out the 5 games they're going to win. Hold on, start that one because I want to come back to finding out where Edwin thinks 5 wins are coming from. Okay, let's jump over to the MEAC.
One more on this one.
All right, me and Matt says Hampton under 3.5, A&T over, and TSU. So that's what you did, right?
Yeah, you agree with me.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Well, again, Drew is going under, Hampton, A&T, Tennessee State. I'm going under for Hampton and over for A&T and Tennessee State. All right, let's jump to the MEAC schools now. Let's see. Let me make sure you get the order of slides right. Okay. Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, over and unders. Well, nobody has really gone 3-0 over the last 3 years, Drew, in terms of our performances and where we have thought these teams should be. Of course, South Carolina State in the Chinnis Berry era have gone over expectation the last 2 years. North Carolina Central had a good run going. They just missed going over last year. I mean, we set the number at 8.5, and obviously they finished 8-4. It's been kind of, Morgan State has gone, every time we think they're going to do better, they do worse. Howard is kind of being up and down. Delaware State, obviously, with the rebirth. I mean, look at where Delaware State has been: 2.5, 2.5, 3.5. They finally hit the jackpot last year, but prior to that, they were looking as bad as A&T. So, new numbers for this season. And I will tell you, I found it interesting. The computers do not believe the Delaware State magic, Drew. This is the Delaware State number that I set is so far left of what the computer thinks. I'll just tell you, the computer thinks that Delaware State will go 4-8 this year.
They'll regress back to the mean.
Yeah, I don't know if they will regress back that far. But I just thought it better to put the number at 6.5, given that the program has tasted a little bit of success. Howard setting the number at 4.5. Morgan State setting it at 4.5. Two teams that the computers kind of think will be 5-7 this year. Norfolk State, expecting a little uptick from Norfolk State. The computers have a 4-8 record. 4.5 is the line. Now you get to the two big boys who everybody thinks will probably be in the hunt. North Carolina Central, 8.5. South Carolina State, 9.5, Drew. Did I go too high on South Carolina State?
You'll find out when I make my prediction. How about that?
All right. Well, the computers seem to think South Carolina State will have a 10-win season, and North Carolina Central will have another 8-4 year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the numbers?
They look right where they're supposed to be. Yeah, I'm the one that I'm kind of 50-50 on is Norfolk. So just kind of putting it out there. I thought it would have been a little bit lower for Norfolk given what they did and what their track record has been. So 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 1 win. I thought that number should probably be 1 game less, 3.5. So I think Morgan is right there where it should be. Howard is right where it should be, a tweener team. They did have the one season where they did go 500. Yeah, so those are my opinions. All right, obviously, Bryan, before we get into this, anybody only have 11?
Okay, let's see. All teams in the MEAC are playing 12 games.
All right. Now, question number 2. Obviously, for one team on this grid, they will get an opportunity to pick up an extra win by making it to the Cricket Celebration Bowl presented by Toyota. So, Should they win the Celebration Bowl, does that count towards our goal? We just doing regular season only.
No, this is season. So
season
what they do in the Celebration Bowl counts towards the season.
Oh, it does count.
It does.
Okay, and that's going to be the same thing for the SWAC, because obviously SWAC opponent, somebody will get an opportunity to get two additional victories in the SWAC. One being the SWAC championship game and one being the Celebration Bowl.
That part right there, you are correct. Yes.
Okay, because that helps because obviously the team that I'm going to predict as my my SWAC champion or MEAC champion, I've got to calculate if they're going to get that extra W.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's start with Delaware State. The number is 6.5. Do you think they'll finish 500 at 6-6, or will they finish above 500? Essentially,
Dale State.
Johnny Thornton. I like that. 11-2. Huh? Wow. Okay. Dale State.
I like what Jackson's doing down there, D-Jack. And his system is not necessarily quarterback dependent like a lot of other systems, because he relies so heavily on running game. So yes, I'm going over with Dale State. I'm gonna give him 7. I'm gonna give him 7.
All right. I'm also on the over train with Dale State.
I hope they weren't fool's gold last year.
What's interesting about the Dell State number, there are 3 games during the MEAC season where the win margin is predicted within 3 points. The win or loss margin is predicted within 3 points. So I just thought I'd mention that. Okay, Howard University. New coach, Ted White, but they do have some returners in some key spots. The number's 4.5.
Under.
Ooh, I'm on the opposite there. I think 4. I set the number at 4.5 because the preseason predicted record is 5-7. I think 5 to 6 is a realistic number for this team, given a returning quarterback, running game, defensive backs. I think Howard could. Let me see. Look at Howard's schedule. Now Howard plays 2 FBS schools, Indiana and Rutgers, and they play Morehouse. So, and then they've got FCS opponents throughout. So, be interesting to see what happens there. Okay. Morgan State, 4.5. Is this the year for Damon Wilson? Can he finally get this team to, I don't know. I don't even know what the benchmark could be. If you look at the record, they haven't cleared 7 wins yet.
Well, they don't need to clear 7 wins to go over on this.
So did I set the number too low then? I mean,
not based on what you have, Ryan. I am going to take the over on this one, though.
You're going to take the over on Morgan State?
Yeah, I'm going to take the over on Morgan.
Morgan State has a game against VUL, so there's a win. I don't know, Drew. I'm going, shoot, this is tough. This is tough to read Morgan State. I will go under. I don't know. I will go under. Norfolk State, 4.5. 1-11 last year. How many wins can Mike Vick get them to this year?
Under.
They have 2 FBS opponents. They play a Division II and VUL. And they play Chicago State. Are you sticking with the under?
That's 3.
Exactly.
So how many FBS is on their schedule?
Yeah, Old Dominion and Virginia, back-to-back weeks.
So that's 3 and 2 right there. Non-conference,
correct.
So who's the other? I guess Hampton is the one game. The other, see, they got 2 games left. They got Hampton. There's one. Did they play Virginia State this year? Oh, Virginia State was the D2, right?
Yeah, no, they don't play Virginia State this year.
Oh, they don't play Big State.
Robert Morris.
All right, you sold me, Brian. I'm gonna flip it.
Really? You going over?
Yes. Because if they get Hampton, all they need to do is get 1 in conference.
Well, who do you think they're getting that one against?
Howard.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay. I'm going over as well. I think a 5-win season is a good number for Norfolk State this year. Okay, here we get to the top.
Plus, I need Vic to still be coaching Norfolk when they come to the BCSN Challenge.
He's not going anywhere. Relax. All right, North Carolina Central. Johnny, what Johnny say? Johnny in the chat said 11-1.
Well, give me that
11-1.
Give me that non-conference. Yeah.
Let's see. North Carolina Central. Let's see. They play Division II, Elizabeth City State. They play an FBS in East Carolina. Then the FCS schools, they have Texas Southern away, North Carolina A&T at home, Gardner-Webb on the road, Campbell at home. Well, that's the conference. I think when they start getting there.
Campbell's non-conference, obviously.
Oh, Campbell's not. Oh, and William and Mary. William and Mary's non-conference as well.
Yeah.
But both of those games are at home. Campbell and William and Mary at home.
Under.
Ooh. Under 8.5. Under 8.5.
I got 8. That's why I'm going with the under.
8 in season.
Yeah, I got 8.
Okay, so if we go the let me see, the FBS they lose, and then they'll lose a conference game, so that's 2. So that's 10 potentially wins. I think they only beat one of those CAA schools. Well, I don't know. Campbell's not CAA, are they?
I don't know if they CAA or Big South still.
I'm right at 9. Ooh, this is tough. Because they hit this number if they do win the MEAC and can get to the
they would have to go through the MEAC undefeated, and I don't see that happening.
Out of respect for my guy Johnny, I'm gonna take the over. Johnny thinks they go. I don't believe that. I don't know. Johnny had a lot of numbers in there, but Campbell is CAA. Okay, thank you. Campbell CAA. So yeah. I think they split between those 2 CAA schools. And so, yeah, I'm going over. I'm going 9-3 is realistic for Central. Okay, here we go. This is the challenging one. 9.5. Now, I purposely went back and looked. I don't think I have hit. I don't think I've set a line this high in ever. Like, if you look at the history there, I don't think I've set a 9.5 before. But this is South Carolina State.
So, all right. I'm going
10-2.
I'm going under on the regular season. Here's the question: who do I have as my BAC champion? And do I give my BAC champion the Celebration Bowl, which is why I asked that question. So, with that being said, give me the non-conference for South Carolina State, because I'm gonna tell you what it is right now. I'm leaning under, because if I remember South Carolina State's non-conference, it is brutal.
You think it's? I don't think it's
If
brutal
I'm
at
going
all.
off the top of my head, I'm not looking at it. I thought I remembered it being brutal.
I'll tell you why I don't think it. Well, okay. They've got Division II schools. They've got Savannah State and Virginia State.
Okay, we give them those two.
Now, then they play a pair of former MEAC school rivals, Florida A&M and Bethune.
Okay, let's just call that a split.
They play at Furman and at Charleston Southern, and they host the Citadel.
Oh, so they don't have any FBSs on their schedule this year.
No.
Okay, then that was somebody else's schedule I was thinking about then. You're giving them at least 4 to be at. I'm not saying South Carolina State's going to lose a game, but for this exercise, I have to give them 4. 6, 7, 8.
North Carolina, NCCU coming to SCSU and ORBG. Okay, Russell, what is the ORBG?
Orangeburg.
Oh, Orangeburg. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Central is coming to Orangeburg this year.
Yeah.
I mean, can South Carolina State win 10 games is the big question. And knowing that they have to go again to Furman and Charleston Southern, and they have to travel to Florida twice, at Bethune, at Miami Gardens against FAMU, which I think that's a loss personally, but come on, Drew, come on, TikTok.
If they sweep Florida, along with the D2s, that's 4. That's give 4 in conference. That's 8. Can they pick? If you give them the Celebration Bowl, that's 9. Do I see another win? I got to go under. I'm playing it safe. No disrespect to Chennis. Because it comes down to 2 things for me. A, do I think they can go and O in the MEAC again?
Mm-hmm.
I do, but I'm being conservative, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm going under as well.
Yes.
I think if I had set the line at 8.5, I would go over.
Especially because if you give them if that's the team that you want to give the extra game to.
Yeah. All right. So here's the recap. Drew and I are both in agreement of going over the 6.5 for Delaware State. Drew is going under 4.5 for Howard. I'm going over. Drew is going over for Morgan. I am going under. So the Morgan Howard, we both disagree on what direction that is. We both agree Norfolk State goes over 4.5. We disagree about North Carolina Central. Drew goes under 8.5. I go over 8.5. And we both agree 9.5 is a bit too high for South Carolina State at 9.5. All right. Let's see. Good stuff. I see a lot of you guys in the chat. A lot of you guys predicting double-digit wins this year for South Carolina State. Interesting. Okay. All right. Now we get into the SWAC. We break this up into 2 divisions, the SWAC East and the SWAC West. Russell Hayes predicts a 3-peat for South Carolina State. All right, here we go.
I predicted a 3-peat also. I just don't know if it would be an undefeated 3-peat.
All right, here we go. No team out of the SWAC East has performed above expectation since we've been doing this. Alabama A&M and Valley have both performed below expectation. FAMU has performed below expectation the last 2 seasons, and it's kind of been hit or miss with Alabama State and Bethune actually going above 2 or 3 years, while Jackson has performed below expectation, but not far off of it. It's just been like one game here and there, So, okay, here we go. Alabama A&M, we're setting a number at 4.5. You can see the last 3 seasons, what they've done: 4-8, 6-6, 5-6. Alabama State, now again, some may think we're crazy, but I'm setting the line at Alabama State. They play 12 games. I'm setting it at 10.5, Drew. I mean, they do have the preseason player of the year. They finished 10-2 a year ago. Very favorable schedule. Bethune-Cookman, 6.5 is the largest total that we've had for Bethune over the last couple years. 7.5 for Florida A&M, the lowest number we've had for them in the last 3 years. Jackson State at 8.5 is about where we've had them each of the last 3 seasons. Only one of those years have they performed above it, and that was the year they won the title. And then, of course, Valley, we continue to set at 2.5. Waiting on Valley to get right. The tradition continues. We're waiting on Valley to get 3 wins. Let me see who has 11. Now I can tell you
Jackson State has 11.
Yeah, Jackson State has 11 games. They are the only one in the SWAC East who only play 11. Everybody else has 12. All right, Drew. Let's move through this. What do we got? Let's start with Alabama A&M.
Over.
Drew's going over. I'll go over as well.
I mean, when you got a 32-year-old quarterback, you got to lean towards that experience.
Okay. Alabama State, is 10.5 too much?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Which goes back to the question that I asked about the 2 extra games. SWAC championship, potential national championship.
It does count.
That's 2.
Yep.
I know they have Tuskegee on their schedule.
Yes, they do.
They had another D2 on their schedules. Am I on
College.
Lane
College.
Okay. So that's 4. Just if the trend goes back to what it used to be, where the SWAC East champion swept through the SWAC, that's 12 right there.
They only play one FBS opponent. That's Troy.
And that's a 60-40 game for them.
Yeah. So you're going over?
I'm going over.
All right. I'm going over as well. That's my favorite. They're the favorite team I believe will get to the SWAC championship game. I think this is the year. All right, Bethune-Cookman, 6.5. What are those mangy Wildcats going to do this year?
Not a damn thing.
They start the season at UCF. They do play Virginia Lynchburg. They got a game against Stetson, who is
right up the road.
Yeah, Stetson is right there along with Valley and Chicago State in terms of their rating, computer rating. What do you got for him? I'm 6.5. What do you got? What are you going?
I mean, I think I've been right. They'll pick up 2 to 3 non-conference. The question is, will they get anything conference? And I'm still leaning no. I think 6 is the magic number for Bethune. I don't think they get to half.
Yeah, I agree. 500 season, 6-6. That's where I got Bethune under. So I'm going under 6.5. All right, Florida A&M, 7.5.
Go ahead and take my card, Brian. I got to go under. I got 7. I got 7.
I'm going over. I think
we
think
like
8,
like we didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I just think 8 wins is the floor for this team. Notice I said the floor. Jackson State, 8.5.
8.5 for the 11 game schedule. So who the 3 nines?
Yeah.
Who the 3 nines?
Let's see. The 3 non-conference games: Tennessee State, Edgewater, and Tuskegee.
Edward
Waters and Tuskegee. So they're playing.
That's potentially 3.
Yeah, potentially 3-0 start to the season before they get into conference play.
So that means 6-2 in conference. Give me the over. I can get 6-2 in conference.
So here's the one thing I'm gonna ask you: do you like them to beat Tennessee State to open the season?
Yes.
I think you're on the right track then. Then taking the over makes sense. I'm going to take the over as well for Jackson State. And Valley. Is this the year that Valley can get 3 or more wins, Drew?
One of them 3 bet now be against FAMU.
Exactly. Will Valley go over? I'm going under. I think the tradition continues. I think they find a way to struggle again. You say you keep betting that horse. You keep betting that horse until it loses. There are certain things you better streak until it's over.
Yeah.
All right. So we are simpatico on 5 of these matchups, Drew. 5 of these. We both agree Alabama A&M goes over 4.5. We both agree Alabama State goes over 10.5. We both agree Jackson State goes over 8.5 in an 11-game schedule. We both agree Bethune-Cookman goes under 6.5. I think we're both predicting a 6-6 season. And we both agree that tradition continues and Valley continues to be below 2.5. And the only one that we are up on is our alma mater. Shameful. All right. I'm on the list. Zach said I'm on the list. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, again, I'm just betting on the streak here, Zach. I mean, that's all I can do is I'm gonna bet the streak. You bet a streak until it ends. So if it ends, it ends. I'm okay. All right. Yeah. You guys are funny. Good one, Edwin. All right, let's go to the SWAC West. SWAC West, last 6 teams. Here we go. Nobody has been consistent over all 3 years. Again, this is last year. 4 of the 6 teams out of the West played above expectation in terms of their win total. Alcorn State has performed below the last 2 years, while Texas Southern has performed above each of the last 2 seasons. All right, Drew. So let's get it started with the Alcorn State Braves. The number 6.5. Okay. Oh, here 11. Who plays 11? Okay. Arkansas Pine Bluff plays 11. Grambling State plays 11. and Texas Southern plays 11. So make note of that. 3 schools in this West play 11 games.
Alcorn State, under.
6.5.
Under.
I'm agree with you. I go under as well. I think a 6-6 season is about where they're at. Sorry, G.
Sorry, Kelvin. Carter.
Yeah, exactly. Kelvin, Charles, all of our Alcorn State people. All right. 2.5 for UAPB. Can they, what have they done the last couple years? I may have set theirs too low. Now that I look at it, I probably should have put theirs at 3.5. I think I got sleepy when I was setting these.
I'm still going under.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm going over. I think I set it too low. I think I should have set it at 3.5, really. But now that I look at it, I'm going over. Oh, hold on. I was mistaken. Did I say UAPB has 11 game schedule? Yes.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay. Grambling State, 6.5 on an 11 game schedule.
I'm going to go over, but it's going to be tough. I think I can see Grambling going 6-5.
I feel like if they finish 6-5, well, wait a minute. If they go 6-5, Drew, then they're under.
Oh, I thought that was 5.5. This a little blurry on my screen.
Wait a minute.
So
Is it?
It's 6.5. If it's 6.5, I'm taking under.
Grambling State is 6.5.
Under.
Okay, I was gonna say yes. I'm under as well because I could see them going 6-5, and that'll put them at under.
Yeah,
they were 7-5 last year, performed above expectation. I just don't know what Grambling State has. I just don't know what that identity of that program of what that team is. So many questions, so many unknowns. Okay, Prairie View playing a 12-game schedule, set the number at 8.5.
Under.
Ooh.
Because I do not like their non-conference.
Let me pull it up. Let me see. You don't like the non-conference, so
and if they drop one in conference, that puts me at my under.
So here's that non-conference. It's brutal. At Tarleton State, ranked number 6 in the rankings, computer rankings. Home against Stephen F. Austin, ranked 13th. And then they travel to Baylor. So potentially that's 0-3. And if they lose the Labor Day Classic, you're looking at 0-4 going into the State Fair Classic.
Now you see why I'm taking the under. I still have Prairie View winning the West, but I don't like that non-conference, right?
You sold me on that one. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna tell you on that one. I'm gonna go under because I think 8 wins would be good, but
yes,
yeah, that they could potentially be 0-4, and I don't like the odds on finishing above if they start 0-4.
Yeah.
All right. This is a challenging one here. I think this one was a challenging one. Southern, 5.5. New coach, new offense. Is it going to go?
No. While Southern will be improved off the 2 wins, I mean, you can't get too much worse than 2 wins. I do not see 6 this year.
Southern has 2 FBS opponents, Kentucky State and Houston.
Me too.
They play Louisiana Christian. That's
Kentucky State is not FBS, Ryan.
I'm sorry. I thought it was Kentucky. You know what? You're right. So they've got Kentucky State and Louisiana Christian as the
D2,
D2 and NAIA.
Yes.
Houston is a FBS. open the season against Alabama State. I mean, you're talking 0-3 to open the year. That's right. I just said Kentucky State might beat Southern. I did say it. Sorry, Southern. And so you're either 2-2 or 1-3 heading into the game against Jackson State. What did you go for Southern? What did you go?
I went under.
It's a tough one. 500 season for Southern. I say they go over. All right. And the last one we had talking about out of 11, Texas Southern 4.5. Last year they were 6-5. They play 11 games this year, Drew.
4.5. I'm taking that all day, every day.
Taking the over?
Taking the over.
Yeah, me too. All right, so here we go. Here's the recap. Hold on a second. Let me see. Can I do something here? All right, the recap. Alcorn State, we both agree under 6.5. We both agree under for Grambling State 6.5. We both agree under 8.5 for Prairie View A&M. We both agree over 4.5 for Texas Southern. And we are split on UAPB at 2.5. I'm going over. Drew's going under. And we are split on Southern at 5.5. Drew's on the under. I'm on the over. I don't think I have ever won this head-to-head matchup between Drew and I. Have I, Drew?
Not to my knowledge. You won some other contests, but not this one.
Not this one, huh? Okay. Well, there's always hope. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
And if we don't end this show when I get to bed, it's going to be keep Drew alive.
I got you. All right. So that's the final numbers. Drew, final thoughts as we close up the show.
I mean, we are on the cusp. Football schedules. The breaking news. Some members of media know to be released publicly tomorrow. There will be a virtual BX SWAC press conference held this Thursday at 11 a.m. It's going to be streamed right here on the Black College Sports Network, where we'll get our final opportunity to talk to the coaches for both Howard, Coach Ted White, and Sam Shade for Alabama A&M. Hopefully get some roster updates and things like that as we get ready for the Cricket BX SWAC Challenge kickoff presented by Toyota. So.
All right. Stay locked in. Maybe we'll have some news. You'll find out for those of you who are interested and wanting to know what happens this upcoming week regarding radio broadcasting, my future. There'll be hopefully some news that'll come out this week. Maybe not. Hopefully. Next week's show, we will talk about the week 1 matchups.
First week
I will
matchups.
I'll say this. I'll let you out for perspective. How many games did we say there were? 21? 21 games, something like that?
Oh, yes. Yeah. 20, I believe it's 21 total.
Well, it's funny. There are 35 FCS games being played during week 0.
And 21 of them.
Yes, we have 21 of them. There are 8 FBS opponents, 8 FBS games during week 0. I saw an interesting Facebook post where someone had suggested that, the HBCU should play the week before week 0 to give themselves more exposure. Now, I could have been petty and I could have been snarky, but I didn't. I controlled myself. I just pointed out to this person, a random person, I don't know him, but I pointed out those numbers and said, this is a great weekend coming up in 2 weeks to feature HBCU football, where we will control the majority of games. I mean, think about that, Drew. In total, over half of the overall college football games will be HBCU. And in the FCS level, we have more than half.
Well, keep in mind, that's 21 games, but those are not all HBCU on HBCU games. Some of those 35 others you mentioned are HBCU versus non-HBCUs. And Brian, everybody, enjoy this year, because it will not be like this next year. Because next year, FBS will be allowed to go full scale on week 0 so they can get a second bye. This year, they still have to fit under the old rule, which requires a game has to be on national TV and a few other things to play in week 0. That's why there are only 8 of those particular games that you'll see on week 0. But next year, I believe it's wide open for everybody.
Well, enjoy this upcoming run, and hopefully, hopefully you guys are ready for it. Let's be ready to support. Let's be ready to be in attendance. Let's be ready to stream. Let's be ready to turn on the radio dials and the audio dials.
If your school still has it.
If your school still has it, exactly. All right, guys. Thank you for watching tonight. Again, thank you to Coach A.D. Terrance Whittle of Stillman College, and thank you, Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends, for joining us. Hopefully you guys got something out of this show. Share the show with your friends. We need to pick up our subscribers on the YouTube, MyJBN Online. Make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MyBCSN1. If you want to leave a donation to the show, you can do that. There's the Cash App. You can also leave a super chat in YouTube. And lastly, BCSN Pod Zone is the ultimate destination to watch or listen to podcasts on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, and more. I'd appreciate it. We'd appreciate it if you go check it out, tune in, lock in, subscribe, download, rate, review, all that good stuff. All right, guys. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for watching tonight's show. Have a great week, everybody. Good night. God bless. Peace out.
Travel light, everybody. Wow.
You stay